Hello everyone. Today we're going to do an aircraft type review. Today's aircraft is the long-serving KC-135 Stratotanker, one of the many offshoots of the C-135 Startolifter, which itself was developed from the Boeing Dash 80 prototype aircraft, which not only led to the C-135 family of aircraft, but also to the venerable 707 passenger jet. For General Electric CFM International F108 high bypass turbofans, producing up to 21,600 pounds force or 96 kilonewtons each. Each aircraft can hold up to a maximum of 80 passengers or 6 large military-grade pallets. In a purely refueling mode, the Stratotanker can carry up to 202,000 pounds of JP-8 fuel. This aircraft has a cruise speed of 460 knots or 852 kilometers an hour, with a normal range of 1,300 nautical miles or 2,400 kilometers. However, the KC-135 can also use all the fuel it carries in its refueling tanks for its own engines, giving the aircraft a ferry range of 9,500 nautical miles or 17,000 kilometers. Some special operations versions of the KC-135 can themselves be refueled in mid-air. Initial development started in 1950 as the U.S. Air Force saw that their current KC-97 Stratofighters were too slow for the jet fighters emerging at the time. Having a jet power refueling aircraft would alleviate this problem, along with having an aircraft carrying propeller engine fuel and jet fuel alongside each other. Initially, the U.S. Air Force ordered a design from Lockheed, but Boeing was able to convince the Air Force that since the Dash 80 was already flying, they could develop a tanker in 2 fewer years. Production of the KC-135 started in 1955, and deliveries started taking place in 1957, with the last KC-135 delivered to the USAF in 1967. These aircraft were initially equipped with Pratt & Whitney turbojets that were still on the aircraft when the first engine replacement program began in 1980. The new engines were low bypass turbofans, which gave the aircraft better range and provided the aircraft with thrust reversers for the first time. The KC-135 so equipped were redesignated KC-135Es. A second engine replacement program had begun, giving the so far unmodified KC-135's newer CFM F108 high bypass turbofans, which allowed even more range and more cargo capacities. These KC-135s were redesignated KC-135Rs. Further upgrades have brought improvements to the types of avionics, allowing the addition of GPS navigation, allowing for the removal of the cruise navigator position, along with the upgrading the cockpit control panels to the modern glass cockpit design. Since the necessary analog switches, dials, and other instruments were becoming increasingly rare to find. Other KC-135s have also been modified to allow for refueling with a drogue system for the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps aircraft. One version has modifications allowing for it to refuel the SR-71 Blackbird with that plane's special JP-7 fuel. The United States military forces have not and are not today the only operators of the KC-135 type. These aircraft are used by allies around the world, in places like France, Turkey, and Chile. Singapore used to operate KC-135s until 2019. Even NASA have operated some KC-135s for research purposes, including early work on airliner winglets, and one aircraft was used by NASA as their astronaut training Vomit Comet. The aircraft is currently being phased out of service abroad and in the U.S., being replaced by the KC-46 tankers, while other countries are replacing theirs with the Airbus A330 base refueling tanker. Even after the type is finally retired, many are, and many more will be on display around the country. If you have friends or family who collect, please let them know of our channel and spread the word. And as always, thank you and like and subscribe.